Chapter 6. Supra-sexuality. Supra-sexuality is the result of sexual transmutation. Christ, Buddha, Dante, Zoroaster, Muhammad, Hermes, Quetzalcoatl, and many other great masters were suprasexuals. The two great aspects of sexuality are called generation and regeneration. In the preceding chapter, we studied conscious generation. Now we are going to study regeneration. By studying the life of animals, we discover very interesting things. If we cut a serpent in half, we can be sure it has the power to regenerate itself. It can totally develop a new half with all the organs of the lost half. Most earth and sea worms also have the power of continuous regeneration. The lizard can regenerate its tail, and the human organism its skin. The power of regeneration is absolutely sexual. Man has the power to recreate himself. Man can create the Superman within himself. This is possible, using sexual power wisely. We can recreate ourselves as authentic Supermen. This is only possible with sexual transmutation. The fundamental key to sexual transmutation is the arcanum A Zeta F, sexual magic. The key to all power is found in the union of the phallus and the womb. What is important is that the couple learns how to withdraw from the sexual act before the spasm, before seminal spillage. Semen must not be spilled, neither inside the womb nor outside it, neither to the sides nor anywhere else. We speak clearly so people will understand, even though some puritanical infrasexuals label us pornographic. Human life itself has no meaning. To be born, to grow, to work hard in order to live, to reproduce like an animal, and then to die, is really a chain of martyrdom man carries entangled in his soul. If that is life, it is not worth living. Fortunately, we have in our sexual glands the seed, the grain. From this seed, from the grain, can be born the Superman, the Adam Christ, the golden child of sexual alchemy. For this, life is certainly worth living. The path is sexual transmutation. This is the science of Uranus. This is the planet that controls the gonads or sexual glands. This is the planet that governs the constellation of Aquarius. Uranus has a sexual cycle of 84 years. Uranus is the only planet that directs its two poles toward the Sun. The two poles of Uranus correspond to masculine and feminine aspects. These two phases alternate in periods of 42 years each. The alternating stimuli of the two poles of Uranus govern all the sexual history of human evolution. Epochs in which women undress in order to display their bodies alternate with epochs in which men adorn themselves. Epochs of feminine preponderance alternate with times of intrepid gentlemen. This is the story of the ages. When the human being reaches a mature age, he is stimulated by the antithetical cycle, opposite to that which governed during our infancy and youth. Then we are truly mature. We feel sexually stimulated by the sexual opposite. In reality, maturity is marvelous for the work of sexual regeneration. Sexual sentiments are richer and more mature at 40 years of age than at 30. The Superman is not the outcome of evolution. The Superman is born from the seed. The Superman is the result of a tremendous revolution of the consciousness. The Superman is the Son of Man mentioned by Christ. The Superman is Adam Christ. Evolution means that nothing is still, everything exists within the concepts of time, space, and movement. Nature contains within itself all possibilities. No one reaches perfection with evolution. Some people become better, and the vast majority, terribly perverse. This is evolution. The man of innocence, that paradisiacal man of several million years ago, is now, after much evolution, the man of the atomic bomb, the man of the hydrogen bomb, and the corrupted man of embezzlement and crime. Evolution is a process of complication of energy. We need to return to the point of departure, sex, and regenerate ourselves. Man is a living seed. The seed, the grain, must make an effort so the Superman may germinate. This is not evolution. This is a tremendous revolution of the consciousness. Christ said, and rightly so, and as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up. John 3 verse 14. The Son of Man is Adam Christ, the Superman. With sexual transmutation, we regenerate ourselves absolutely. The period of sexual ecstasy is always preceded by the period of sexual enjoyment. Thus, the same energy that produces sexual enjoyment, when transmuted, produces ecstasy. The lamp of the hermit of the ninth arcanum, which is normally found enclosed within the deep caverns of the sexual organs, must be placed within the tower of the temple. This tower is the brain. Then we become enlightened. This is the truly positive path that converts us into masters of samadhi, ecstasy. Every true technique of internal meditation is intimately related with sexual transmutation. We need to raise the lamp very high in order to illuminate ourselves. Every novice of alchemy, after being crowned, begins to move away from the sexual act little by little. One increasingly distances himself from the secret connubial in accordance with certain cosmic rhythms marked by the Oriental gong. That is how the sexual energies are sublimated, until they are absolutely transmuted to produce continuous ecstasy. The neophyte of alchemy, who in preceding reincarnations worked in the magisterium of fire, accomplishes the work of the sexual laboratory in a relatively short time. But those who work in the great work for the first time need at least 20 years of very intense work, and 20 more in order to withdraw very slowly from the work of the laboratory, a total of 40 years in order to accomplish all the work. When the alchemist spills the cup of Hermes, the fire of the laboratory furnace is turned off, and all the work is lost. The age of mystical ecstasy begins when the age of sexual pleasure ends. All those who attain the Venustic initiation have a very difficult task to accomplish afterward. This task consists of the transformation of the sexual energies. Just as we can transplant a vegetable, transfer a plant from one flower pot to another, we must also transplant the sexual energy, extract it from earthly man, and transplant it, into the Adam Christ. In alchemy, it is said we must liberate the philosophical egg from the filthy putrefaction of matter, and deliver it definitively to the Son of Man. The result of this work is astonishing and marvelous. This is precisely the instant in which the Adam Christ can swallow his human consciousness. The consciousness of Adam, the sinner, must have died before this moment. Only the eternal God can devour the soul. Upon reaching these heights, the Master has self-realized absolutely. From this moment on, we have attained continuous ecstasy, the supreme illumination of great hierophants. The birth of the Superman is an absolutely sexual problem. We need to be born again in order to enter the kingdom of the heavens. The Superman is as different from man as lightning is from a black cloud. Lightning comes from the cloud, but it is not the cloud. Lightning is the Superman, the cloud is man. Sexual regeneration activates the powers we had in Eden. We lost those powers when we fell into animal generation. We reconquer those powers when we regenerate ourselves. Just as the worm can regenerate its body and the lizard its tail, we can also regenerate our lost powers in order to shine once again as gods. Sexual energies once transplanted in the Adam Christ shine with the immaculate whiteness of divinity. These energies then appear as terribly divine rays. The grandeur and majesty of the Superman is tremendous. In reality, the Superman shines for a moment in the night of the ages and then disappears. He becomes invisible to man. Ordinarily, we can find traces of these kinds of beings in some secret schools of regeneration. Almost nothing is officially known about these schools, however. It is because of these secret schools that we know of the existence of those sublime suprasexual beings. The regeneration schools have periods of public activity and periods of secret work. The planet Neptune cyclically governs the activity of these schools. In the human organism, Neptune has control over the pineal gland. Only with sexual transmutation is this gland of the gods activated. Uranus controls the sexual glands, and Neptune controls the pineal gland. Uranus is practical sexual alchemy. Neptune is esoteric study. First, we must study, and then work in the laboratory. Uranus has a sexual cycle of 84 years, and Neptune a cycle of 165 years. The cycle of Uranus is that of an average human life. The cycle of Neptune is that of public activity in certain schools of regeneration. Only through the path of perfect matrimony do we reach supra-sexuality.